Welcome back to another edition of the Pitch Putt and Puff podcast. My name is Roger, aka RGB. Appreciate everyone tuning in today. This episode is brought to you by 420 Bliss, located on Hoosick Street in Troy, New York, right up in the Walmart Plaza. Today I have a guest on from Butterfly Divot Tools, Danny, the owner of Butterfly Divot Tools. What's up, man? Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
No, absolutely, absolutely. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into golf?
Well, I used to be a professional skateboarder, and I had an ACL injury, and the doc that I had recommended that I walk, and he's like, walk a lot. And I didn't know anything about golf, but he golfed, and he said, why don't you pick up golf? And I was like, nah, I don't know. And he's like, well, if you think about it, you can walk the 18 holes, and in between the walking, you can just hit that ball. It'll give you something to like a target to go towards. And I thought about it, and I was like, oh, I like the idea of like going up and down the hills and things like that. So that's kind of how I picked
Yep.
up golf. Yeah. And that was back in 2001.
Okay. So you got a good couple years in now. What got you into
Yeah.
the business of designing the tools?
To be honest with you, man, just like other people, you become obsessed, right?
Hmm.
And with golf, it's like, say, like you get your grip right. You're trying to figure out your neutral, your weak, your strong grip, and all that. And you realize a degree
Yep.
off at impact leads to like 30 yards out to the right, or freaking duck hooking to the left. And the little nuances really grab you. So the next thing you know, you're spending 6 days a week, 6 hours a day, just like playing, trying to fine tune everything. And you start obsessing. So I got to
Yep.
that point, and then I was just like,
That's where
man,
I
I
am
really
right
love
now.
golf. Yeah. And I want to work in the golf industry. What am I going to do? This was way
Hmm.
before, the internet, right? Well,
Right.
there was internet, but it wasn't like, Instagram and YouTube
Sure.
and well, there was YouTube, but it was still at the beginning phases. Not everyone was basically doing their own podcasts and all kinds of things like that, right? So really it just came down to what can I do to get into the game, and that led me on this path of like, well, let me go work at a store, right? So I was I ran the golf department at I don't know if you've heard of Sports Chalet. They're not around anymore. Do you remember them?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it was a
No, no, I never heard of them.
yeah, Sports Chalet was like a California sports store, and they had a golf department. So I kind of ran that for a while. And I was a total nerd, dude. I was like reading the books like before customers were coming in, and I was just learning everything about the swing and God. And then from there, it transitioned to, man, maybe I could be a sales rep, right? And I found that in the
Okay.
San Diego area where I used to live, Ping, Titleist, the Acushnet Company, Cobra, Callaway, none of those none of those companies were really hiring outside for sales rep positions. It almost seemed like friends of the family were getting those sales rep positions. So then I thought, well, what am I going to do now? And then I tried to go to this like unaccredited golf college, but when I realized that points don't transfer to the PGA to get your certification, I was like, nah, I'm
Hmm.
not going to spend a ton of money on that. And then that just led me to design. I thought, well, the next best thing is product design, and make a product that is in the golf market, and then hopefully try and build it up, make it successful. So maybe one day I can sponsor tournaments and get invited to tournaments and play, because that's
Sure.
ultimately what you want to do, right? Is play
Right.
with friends, people. Yeah. So that's the journey.
So that's cool because what's different about you is the butterfly. It's obviously replicates of old school butterfly knife. I mean, every one of us. I'm 40 years old. I remember flipping one of those around as a kid all the time. Probably when I
Yeah.
shouldn't have been. But where'd you come up with that idea?
Mm. Believe it or not, it was 10 years ago. This was right at the time when the switchblade divot tool was coming out, where you'd hit the button and it would flick out, right?
Yep.
And this one that I had was a titanium one. It was a $120 tool that, and like most golfers, you leave something on the course. And I did,
Oh yeah.
it was gone. And I was
Yep.
devastated because it was a really nice made flick out divot tool. So I hit up the company and I was trying to find out if they had any other titaniums, and they didn't. It was just this one-off that they sent me randomly. So then I just started doing a lot of Google searching and looking at all the different divot tools, divot tools, divot tools. And then all of a sudden on a random page, there was a butterfly knife through a different Google search. And then I started looking at a ton of butterfly knives. And then I started having that same nostalgic feeling because my mom let me buy one when I was like 9 years old at a flea market. And man, I got really good at it. And I have like a cut right here still to prove it from learning it. And so basically, after looking at all the butterfly knives and really dialing it in and going, wow, like they've come a long way. And then and because I was on the same track of looking at divot tools, that's where the union merged and it happened. And I was like, wait a minute. And then that light bulb went off. And then I was like, and then from there, it started the journey of like, who's making it? Is anyone making it? Is it anywhere? Is it in China? Is it in the UK? Is it US? No one had it. So then that started the journey of the process of hand making one. And then from there, it just daisy chained into different partners, pre-releases, Kickstarters, to where it is now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You just really got it off the ground recently, though, right?
That is correct. So here's the deal. I had an epiphany. I used to work at the Apple store, and I used to stand against the wall for hours, and people would come in and want to look at a $30 case, not buy it, walk away. And I just had this idea of like, man, obviously, A, I don't want to be doing that like my whole life. B, I need to come up with some concept of my own, right? So before the butterfly divot tool happened, that idea spawned because a couple of months prior, I had told myself, I asked myself this one question: what do I want? And it took me weeks to answer that question because it's such an open-ended question. It could be a candy bar, it could be a Lamborghini, it could be a nice job, it could be anything. And but to really answer that is difficult. And I thought about it and thought about it. And basically it ended up being that I decided that I wanted to be like the paperclip guy or the umbrella guy that goes in the daiquiri drinks, basically invent a product, create it, and license it. That was my goal. So then from there, I thought, well, what am I going to do? So my brain was already open to the possibilities of ideas of what can I do? What can I do? And then a couple of months later, that is when the butterfly and the butterfly divot tool came together. But yeah. And sorry, what was the question again?
How did you come up with the idea? But I'm pretty sure you answered it.
No, I answered that one. I think there was something else that I was getting to a point and I lost my train of thought.
How long you've been running the business?
Well, I'll just say this. That's what I was getting at, and I'm going to try and sum it up shorter. But essentially, in the beginning, I wanted to go for a license deal, but then I had these partners, and they're like, "No, you got to have a name. You have to have a whole product line." That really stretched out the process and time of everything. And then later, I had a different partner that basically went on another merry-go-round, and then a bunch of stuff happened there, didn't work out. Finally, I came full circle and I was like, dude, I just need to get a license deal. So what I ended up doing was partnering with a company called Peer to Improve. They make a whole bunch of like physical exercise equipment, and they have a golf department that does a bunch of physical exercise equipment and training aids. So I partnered with their owners, John and Renee, and showed them the product. And they were like, hey, this is not something we necessarily do, but we absolutely love it. We absolutely believe in it. We believe in you. So let's go ahead and do this. So Peer to Improve first came out and releasing the product last year, sometime in July. And because I'm the designer creator of it, they allow me to basically kind of be a dealer of it as well. So the butterflydivottool.com was released in this past December, a few months ago. and all
Okay.
the social media, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, that all came out, right in December as well. So it's really all a few months old from my end.
Nice. It's exciting though,
Yeah.
man, because like I said, it's something that stands out. Like when seen it, I clicked on it right away just because of the nostalgia of me growing up playing with the butterfly knife. I was like, "Oh, what is this?" And then it's got the bottle opener on
Yeah.
there, and there's
Yeah.
always obviously in the course you're gonna need a bottle opener most of the time. So it
Oh
really, I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
it's perfect.
Yeah, one of the things about it is it comes in three colorways. It's got the bottle openers on each side. It's a stainless steel fork, right? So it's super sturdy, super strong, heat treated, has a nice shine to it. And then the handles are made out of aluminum. So it's a really sturdy tool. And the length and
Mhm.
size of it is going to be your standard divot tool size. So when you close it up and put it in your pocket, it feels pretty good.
Right.
But what's really nice about Pure to Improve is they're able to basically do some updates to the tool. For example, we are going to harden those edges on the hooks for the bottle opener. And then we're also going to
Mhm.
soften the edges on the handles and make them a little bit more rounded. So it's a little smoother in your hand as you're turning it around.
Yeah.
So we're updating that. And then obviously we are going to release some other colorways. So as soon as they mock up some colorways, I'm going to do a post and get your consensus, get everyone's consensus. Hey, which colorways do you guys like? Because the more people say, hey, I
Sure.
really like the orange one, or, I really like the pink one, or whatever it is, then we get a consensus. We know, hey, this is the
Right,
direction.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really cool. I mean, especially now that you have Pure to Improve to really help you, like you said, you tweak things, make the product stronger, and then you're behind the scenes designing and working on things as well. That sounds like a really good partnership you locked yourself into there. So congratulations on that, man.
Hey, my
That's really
dog
cool.
jumped in my lap.
There you
Yeah.
go. Welcome to the
No,
show,
and
buddy.
I appreciate the kind words. I appreciate that for sure.
Now off golf topics real quick. You told me your great uncle was Roberto Clemente.
That's correct. Yeah. It was
That's crazy.
basically
That's cool.
my mom's dad. Roberto was his brother, and my mom was really close to him. So I think when he passed away, my mother was maybe around 19 years old, and
Okay.
yeah. So my mom's last name's Clemente, and she was really, really, close with the family. And my mother was the first one out of like all of the Clementes to just up and move to the United States. So I was the
Okay.
first Clemente really born in the United States. So I was born in San Antonio.
Nice. And that's where you're still located, San Antonio area?
Yeah, I did live in California for about 25 years, but I just recently moved back to San Antonio about 2 years ago.
Okay. Nice down there. I've
Yeah,
been down to like the Fort Worth area. I have a couple buddies of mine who live down there. We go down and visit every few years.
where are you
Hot. It's a
located
lot
again?
hotter than upstate New York. What's that?
Oh, you're in upstate New York?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And
Yeah,
the weather
it's
right
cold
now
up
is
here.
perfect.
It's about 45 degrees up here right now.
Oh, really? Well, let me see what the temperature is
Yeah, it's
here.
tough.
Oh, yeah, it says it's funny. My weather is set to New York and it says 35. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, San Antonio, it's 62 right now and overcast. So it's perfect golf weather.
Perfect golf weather right there. Jeez. I can't wait. We've been in the simulators a little bit up here, but not as much as we'd like. It's just not the same effect. It's just not the same. We actually played, I think it was like January 10th or something. We got out there and played a quick 9 holes, but it was just too wet
Yeah.
out to enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird.
But
It's looking at all the golf media and seeing a lot of people using simulators, right? They're creating a lot of content with simulators, but I guess what are you going to do if the weather is not conducive to play?
right.
I also noticed too, because of the weather, maybe golf sales aren't as up. The uptick is not where you want it to be, right? So I'm hoping that when the weather gets nice, the divot tool can spread its wings out more, and more people can see it and get it and play with it.
I think you kind of came in at a good time though, because now you have time to establish the name and get the, build up the social media aspect of it and such. And then by the time, April, May rolls around and guys can get out, especially on the East Coast, and get out there and golf, I think it's really gonna get rolling for you, because I showed a buddy of mine, my co-host JR, I sent him a page to him yesterday, and he's like, dude, I got to get one of those. I'm like, yeah, get you all the
Yeah.
information, listen to the podcast, get all the details.
Yeah, I will say
So
this.
I think it's gonna
The
boom.
tool. Go ahead.
I think it's gonna boom. I think it's gonna really take off with your partnership too. I think that's really gonna benefit you guys big.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, really, my goals are really similar to everyone else's goals. Like, for example, when you're looking at Pitch and Puff podcast, right?
Hmm.
What's the best way to get that name out there, right? So eventually, it's like getting some higher level entities to want to be on your show, and then building those relationships. Like, how cool would it be if you know uh, uh, who was that block? Who's that golfer that did really well in the
Oh,
PGA?
Michael
And he was
Block.
like, yeah, like imagine having him on the show, right? And
Hmm.
he's supporting you,
Right.
and Rocco Media or whatever, And
Sure.
obviously there's the Fowlers and people like that, but some of those pros almost seem unattainable. But the goal is eventually to get your situation in front of their eyeballs to where they love it and they promote it. Same with the
Mhm.
golf tool, right? So, I would love to have some of these other folks have the golf tool, use the golf tool, and then, maybe make a mention about it. And, that would be amazing. And, and then just kind of have an organic build and growth. So we'll see. I don't know, but I appreciate it.
No, I think you'll be good. I mean, you're definitely going to reach a couple listeners in upstate New York here with this podcast. Hopefully, they check you out. Now, where can they find you?
So Butterfly Divot Tool is really across the name of everything. So it's butterflydivottool.com. Butterfly Divot Tool. It's at Butterfly Divot Tool on Instagram. Same for YouTube and TikTok, and Facebook as well. So mainly, if you really want to be up to date with all my content, it's on Instagram. From Instagram, I kind of spread everything else out, and then on YouTube, I'm slowly creating more videos. And on butterflydivottool.com under accessories, there's other Peer to Improve products that I actually list as well. And if you click on the buy now on those, it'll just take you directly to the Amazon page. So then you can then just pick up that product. So there's like chipping nets, putting mats, swing trainers. So Peer to Improve is also sending me those products. So I'm going to be doing reviews on those products. That will be on my YouTube channel and Instagram, so people can kind of get an idea of what these products are like. And it's cool for me because it's not only going to be just Butterfly Divot Tool stuff. I'll have some other products on there as well.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I really appreciate you coming on. Everybody check out butterflydivottool.com. Danny, I really appreciate your time, man. And anything I can help you out with in the future, feel free to reach out and we'll set something up.
Yeah, do me a favor, Roger. When you get a chance, as you're kind of pushing this podcast out, I definitely don't mind if you want to do some kind of little giveaway, like, hey, for every other comment, or you can come up with the idea, but if you can get some kind of winner of some sort, let me know, and we can hook that person up with the divot tool.
Let's do it. Sounds good.
All
We'll talk. I'll send you a DM and we'll figure out the details on that.
right. All right. Sounds good, Roger, man. Thanks for having me on the
Sounds
show.
good.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
See you.